Basketball fans are getting set for the men's NCAA Final Four games set to tip off this evening in San Antonio, Texas. It's become the battle of the #1 seeds after nail-biting games during this year's tournament. First, the Florida Gators will square off against the overall #1 seed, Auburn Tigers. Then the Houston Cougars will take on the Duke Blue Devils with the help of the potential top-seeded NBA draft prospect. We're talking about Cooper Flagg. With us is senior writer for The Athletic, Chris Vanini. Chris, always a pleasure. Let's start with the men's tournament and the Blue Devils' Cooper Flagg. How vital has he been to Duke, and will he push them past Houston tonight?
Yeah, he's lived up to the hype. Like you said, he's going to be the #1 pick in the NBA draft. Everybody knew that coming into the season, and he has lived up to that. He got injured in the conference tournament right before the NCAA tournament, an ankle twist, but he was ready to play. He's been really good. Duke has the #1 offense in the country, and they're going up against Houston with the #1 defense in the country. This might be the best game of the entire tournament, what we get tonight.
All right, that's quite some praise coming from you. Let's look at the matchup between Auburn and Florida. Arguably, no one has played a tougher regular season schedule than the Tigers this year. How do you expect their defense, led by Denver Jones, hold up against Florida?
Yeah, these teams played in the regular season. Florida won that game, and so Auburn has been talking about that a lot. And Coach Bruce Pearl has said he's watched so much Florida tape, he's really sick of them at this point. But Auburn is also led by Joni Broome, another National Player of the Year, alongside Cooper Flagg. He got hurt in the Elite Eight game against Michigan State. He hyperextended his knee and his elbow, but he came back in the game, hit a three-pointer in a remarkable sequence of events. They have been the best team pretty much all season long, it looked like, for Auburn, and here they are playing another SEC team. We got 2 SEC teams in the Final Four, and one will be playing for the national championship.
You and I have talked for weeks now. You've continued to pick Duke as your favorite to win the national championship. Are you sticking with that today?
My bracket's doing pretty well. I had Duke versus Auburn in the national championship, and they're both still alive, so I have to keep riding what I've got. I've got Duke going all the way. They've been unbelievable for the last 3 or 4 months. They've lost 1 game since the start of December. Cooper Flagg's healthy. They're just top to bottom extremely strong, led by the coach John Shire, who won a national championship as a player at Duke, as an assistant coach at Duke. Now he's going for a championship as the head coach. We got 2 young head coaches against 2 older head coaches in this Final Four.
We have to talk about the women. Last night, the South Carolina Gamecocks took on the Texas Longhorns, with the Gamecocks defeating the Texas Longhorns 74-57. And in the UConn UCLA game, a 58-51 blowout, with UConn heading to the national title game. Chris, who are the biggest playmakers in these games?
Yeah, South Carolina will be going for back-to-back national championships. They've had more depth across the board than some other teams. It was pretty evenly set up. But UConn, the big star is Paige Beckers. She has been around the program for a very long time. She's one of the biggest stars in the sport, and she hasn't won a national championship. It's the one thing she hasn't done at UConn. And UConn has been the dominant program for decades that everybody knows, but they haven't won a title since 2016. South Carolina's on 5 straight Final Fours. These are 2 of the biggest programs, 2 of the biggest stars, 2 of the biggest coaches, with Gino Auriemma at UConn, Dawn Staley at South Carolina. And ultimately, this was also my pick for the national championship, with South Carolina UConn. So that's going to be a terrific game on Sunday.
All right, I'm running out of time. I want to get this question in. These 2 schools, they have history. This game will be a rematch of the 2022 NCAA title game. South Carolina, as we remember, won that match. It was the only final that UConn has ever lost. So I have to ask, who wins it between the South Carolina and UConn?
I'm going to go with UConn. I think Paige Beckers puts up a big game. I think Sarah Strong for UConn has a really good game. She played really well last night. UConn was a #2 seed coming into this. They're the only #2 seed in the Final Four for the women, but they were the favorite to win, the betting favorite to win the national championship. They're rolling right now. Their offense is incredible. It's really fun to watch. Any fan of basketball should watch what UConn does on offense. It's really, really special. I'm going to go with UConn to win it all.